Here we go then. It is time for another F1 2018 career mode video. Getting towards the end now. Not that many races left to go, but here we are at the championship deciding round. Well, we could win the championship here at oh actually no, we don't win the championship here at Marina Bay. We can't yet. Or we may do. Complicated. Oh yeah, the longest race on the calendar just got longer because it's pissing down with rain. Oh, we didn't expect that. Okay. Yeah, that's not going to go well. Okay, well, we'll take that. We'll take that. I have no qualms at racing in the rain. I shouldn't do because I'm pretty handy in the rain. But we'll see what the race produces for us as far as that is concerned, because everything's just going to be thrown completely out of the window. But that's fine. Like I said, that's fine. We can live with that. We can live with that. There's our contract. We'll just browse through all of this. No R&D came in. Nothing there, although we will take new stuff after this race. So, with that being said, I think it's time we looked at the point standings, and we are about 110 points ahead of Esteban Ocon, Pierre Gasly in third, then Charles Leclerc, Sergio Perez, Daniel Ricciardo in sixth, Fernando Alonso, Brendan Hartley, Marcus Ericsson and Lance Stroll round out your top 10 in points. And bring it up the rear, as they have done all season, the two Renaults, Hulkenberg and Seitz, scoring a goose egg. So with that said, we'll get practiced, and then we'll get qualified, and we'll see you for what is going to be a long, tiresome, and very wet Singapore Grand Prix under the lights.
Hello and welcome one and all to the shining streets of Singapore. Can you believe we've been coming here for nearly a decade now? It feels like only yesterday that Felipe Massa was dragging his fuel hose down the pit lane in that eventful opening race, and in a Grand Prix won from pole position more often than not, will we see a new victor crowned today? We have a high risk of a safety car here today, as the abundance of tight corners mixed with these wet conditions could put a few cars off into the barriers. 23 turns then, 13 to the left and 10 to the right, make up the 3.1 mile lap of Marina Bay. Also here, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Paul. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
It's been a really solid year so far. There have been some incredible standout performances, but what's really impressed me has been the consistency. With this kind of form, I'm expecting another great race today.
With that then, let's run through the grid order. Paul lines up on pole position, and starting alongside is Fernando Alonso. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Ocon, Perez, Pierre Gasly and Hamilton, Ricciardo, Bottas, Leclerc and Kevin Magnussen, Grosjean, Ericsson, Brendan Hartley and Stroll, Vettel, Hulkenberg, Sergei Sirotkin and Carlos Sainz. Raikkonen and Stoffel van Dorn completes the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Not gonna say anything, Jeff? Nope. Okay. P1. Yeah, we threw the absolute sink at this car. It would have been a Red Bull 1-2, but it looks like Ricciardo's taken some kind of penalty, probably a gearbox penalty. But I kid you not when I say this is going to be a long race. It is one of the longest on the calendar. No, the longest on the calendar, I should say. Just because of how slow and cumbersome it is. But we'll get through it as quickly as we can for you, folks. And then we'll get to it. So let's jump in. See what this race holds for us, shall we? Oh well. Here we go then, folks, to the running of the Singapore Grand Prix. Under the lights, under the rain, 5 minute lights around, it's lights out, and away we go. And we actually get a pretty decent start there compared to Fernando Alonso next to us on the grid. He's going to try and come down as in the field. Whoa! So what happened at the back there? What happened at the back? Something happened at the back of the field there. I don't quite know what that was, but we're out in the lead as we come through turn 5 onto Raffles Boulevard. Look at the spray that's already being kicked up. This is going to be a long race, folks. This is going to be a hell of a long show as well. And hopefully we can get to the end of this race in one piece. But I would love to know what happened at the start there, because I saw something kicking off at the back of the field. Here we go. So this is on board with Stoffel. Look at the spray that's being kicked up there. And oh! Stoffel Van Doorn got brake checked into the first corner. Let's see if from one of the Renaults here. It looks like Carlos Sainz. See if he had a helping hand. No, he just lost it on his own accord. All manner of calamity is happening behind him. So that's Stoffel out of the way if you look from Hulkenberg's point of view. Sorokin on the right there. Watch the Renault. Oh, I think he contacted the back of Sorokin as well. Oh, I hope Sorokin doesn't have damage. Then again, who really cares about Sorokin if he has damage or not? Because Sorokin's not really done much this season. But here we are at the front with Alonso right behind us, Ocon behind Alonso. It's going to be a long, arduous race, folks. We're not going to lie. This race is going to be pure torture. Not just for me, but for you as well. Unless you decided you didn't want to watch the race. In that case, I don't blame you. Because not many people want to watch the Singapore Grand Prix. In fact, not a lot of people want to watch Grand Prix in general. But that's besides the point. That's for another time. Oh, we can have a laugh, we can have a joke on some of these, but at the end of the day, it's all about what happens on the track as we come through turn 5 onto Raffles Boulevard. Normally DRS will be open down this straight, but it's not going to be open today. Under the bridge, into the hard braking zone of turn 7. There's so many corners on this track, it is unbelievable. It's just a real shame that they can't get them all done quicker. But again, who designed this circuit? For Lenny Herman Tilke. You can see we've got plenty of fuel to burn. We're not going to burn too much of it. We're going to try and stay in standard/medium and just be as neat and tidy as we possibly can be. Because that's all you can be in wet weather situations. If you're too rough, you'll burn these wet weather tyres out, and these wet weather tyres are going to last the whole race. So we just have to make sure we get them to the end of the race. You can see the gap we've got on Alonso already. I mean, we've got a 1.7 second gap to Fernando Alonso in the Renault. Sorry, in the McLaren, I should say, which has a Renault engine. But, good lord. It really is as arduous as it looks, folks. Because car control around this circuit in these conditions has got to be top notch. There's several circuits you don't want wet weather to happen at. Obviously Bahrain and Abu Dhabi is two of them, but here is the other one. As we set
that was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up.
I think we can go a lot faster than that. 2.1 seconds is the gap to Fernando Alonso. Esteban Ocon in 3rd place. I imagine Daniel, well, yes, that's Daniel in 5th behind Sergio Perez in the other Force India. Oh, as we get a slide through turn 5, that's not what we wanted. We'll try and keep it calm, keep it cool, as they say. But now into turn 7.
Battery charge is high.
Battery charge
Let's
is high.
increase ERS deployment to up the
Battery
pace.
charge is so high. We can afford to run different mixes if we felt like it, but we really don't. We're just gonna carry on, plug away as we are in standard, in medium, and not push this car too much. Because if we push the car, we might break it. And you see how close the walls are as we come. Certainly as you come over the Anderson Bridge into turn 14 here.
Engine is showing small signs of wear. Power output will be down.
Yes, I know it is, because I haven't changed the engine yet, you nonny. We'll change it for Sochi. Get a brand new engine in this bad boy for Sochi. And then that engine's going to last me through Suzuka, through all the racing, really. That's another circuit you don't want rain at, Suzuka, because Suzuka's a momentum circuit. But yeah, it's a bit torturous at the moment. All you'll see at the moment is a demonstration on good driving in the wet. Don't apply the throttle too much. Don't carry a lot of speed into the corners, because you will slow yourself down. As we go in a little deep into turn 1, get a warning for cutting the track limits. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. I think that's a bit harsh personally, but we'll accept that. We'll accept that perfectly as we head down Raffles Boulevard again for the 4th time. Alonso has now put a gap on Ocon and Perez. Oh, as we bounce it off the wall. Oh, we bounced it off the wall, folks. But looks like everything's still in one piece. Or several pieces, if you want to be specific about it. Hopefully you do want to be specific about that. But we've come out of rich mix now. We're only going rich mix down the down Raffles Boulevard. That's all we need to do. As we go into that Singapore sling over the Anderson Bridge into the Anderson hairpin. You'll notice that the line I take into the Anderson hairpin is a very wide one. And that is because the racing line takes you really close to the corner of the Anderson Bridge. And if you hit that, it's game over. Game over, race over, day over. All of the above. But we have done that before. Trust me, lots of practice. You can practice around here, but you can always hit that Anderson Bridge. That's the bridge you really got to avoid, man. You go under the grandstands and through this horrible. I kid you not. This is horrible. This section. And this is all Tilke's design. No one wants this, Herman. Can you sort it out? Maybe if we had a faster run down to bloody turn 22 and 23, that would help us out a hell of a lot. But here we are on lap number 5. Going through turn 3. They call this turn 4 here, but it's really a nothing corner. Now into turn 5, which is the corner that leads onto Raffles Boulevard. In rich mix again. We could afford to go rich mix the whole way through turn 6. That's nothing. Into turn 7, and the back end thought about it then, but gave us still enough grip as we go into turn number
These conditions
8.
don't look like they're shifting. We're predicting at least 20 minutes of heavy rainfall.
At turn 9, 20 more minutes of this heavy rain, so it's going to last the race. Turn 10, the old Singapore sling. And then turn 11, turn 12, turn 13's the kink before the Anderson hairpin, turn 14. And now, up this long, curving section here. Before we get into turn 15, heavy on the brakes as we almost thought we were going to run
Okay,
it
we're monitoring
wide.
some wear on the ICE.
16's
Be aware that we
nothing
will start
corner.
to see a loss
Into
of power.
Turn 17, this start of this horrible section. Turn 17, turn 18, then turn 19, and turn 21. Don't get on the curb on the outside. Sorry, turn 20.
Caution.
Oh, virtual
The
safety car has been
is
called out.
out.
We hit the
Reduce
wall
speed
and virtual
maintain a
safety car
positive
comes
delta.
out. Or is it because Daniel Ricciardo might be out the race? Is it because Daniel Ricciardo might be out the race? Here we go. Yeah, he's slowed up there. He's just broke the car. So we'll park it up right there. And of course, that'll bring out the virtual safety car. Why not?
VSC ending,
Thanks,
we're going
Daniel.
green. Maintain positive delta until the green flags.
Honestly, he's going to make it very hard for us to win this team championship here. There we VSC ending on lap number 6. And we're off and underway yet again. So what's the gap? We're keeping the gap to Alonso at a very healthy gap. We're seemingly faster than him on the straights, and we're faster than him in the corners because of our. And this is the one thing that I pride
Looks like
myself
Daniel's
on
got a
when
problem.
I'm driving.
He's out the race.
I like to pride myself on these neat, tidy conditions. I always joke with my brother because he plays this on the Xbox One that we're like the McLaren partnership way back in the day of Lewis Hamilton and Jenson Button. He's the Lewis Hamilton of the pairing, the one who attacks everything, really flings the car into corners, etc. I am the more Jenson Button of the two. Very smooth, very
Let's turn up
precise,
the ERS deployment and burn some
and
of this
all in
energy.
all, just very cool on the system, because if you overdo it, like I said, this wall's waiting for you, and you don't want you certainly don't want walls waiting for you. As we give the curve a little clunk in turn 19, and then over turn 21 and turn 22 before we head down to, what was that? Oh wow, that's something I've just heard about. One of my friends decided to be at 4 North Station in Yorkshire, and the driver overran the platform. That's an unusual one. We'll have you. We won't have you. Won't add you into the Snapchats. We'll follow that. So, back to the racing. I'll turn the Wi-Fi off so I can give you all my full attention, because I haven't checked everything through this morning. There we go. So we're back with you now on over the Aston bridge onto the Aston hairpin, and you can see the gap we now got on Alonso. It's a pretty healthy gap, I would say. Nothing too harsh, nothing too fancy. Just throw it in the corner and off we go again. Although we did set the fastest middle sector there, that's interesting. We've bunged it into rich fuel mode and high engine capacity. So now I think it's the time we're almost into the wall on the other side of turn 19. There's a car sliding through turn 20. Let's see what this lap is, because this lap looks pretty quick. We give the wall a little bit of a kiss on the outside of turn 22 through turn 23. In the dry, that's a lovely corner, and look at that lap, a 54.8.
Good job. That was the fastest lap of the race so far.
That can only mean trouble for one Fernando Alonso. As that was a Code Brown moment, shall we say? Enough said. You don't want any more moments like that, because that will end your race, and it will end your race very quickly. Let me assure you of that fact as we head into turn number 8. I hope we don't have to have a replay of that, because I think even I might crap myself on the replay of that. That was just utterly. Did you see the sliding that we did through turn 2 and 3? And we still kept up. And normally that would have been spin, out, done, thank you, goodbye. But no, it turns out that we are still good to go. As we get the file ready for this clip. it may look like we've got not a lot of speed. Oh, almost into the wall in the outside of turn 19. Inside of turn 19, I should say. That would have ended the race too for somebody. We've got to be back to the neat and tidy driving style here, because yes, we're in rich mix, we're burning a bit of fuel, but I'd rather we weren't burning it for the sake of trying to get fastest laps. We know we're faster than these guys in front of us. As the car snaps on turn 1 again, that I won't lie, that could have been very, very painful. That, and I hope that we sort it out, because if we don't sort out this driving style, we are in a lot of trouble. We are in a lot of trouble indeed. There we go. So that's done already. Sweet. Speaking of sweet, into turn 10 we go, lap number 9. It's gone pretty quick, this hasn't it? It doesn't feel like a normal Singapore Grand Prix for some reason. Hopefully, I mean, when they first started coming here, we were doing laps that we're doing now in the wet conditions. And the first wet race ever was a couple of years ago now, when we had that almighty crash at the first corner between two drivers and Max Verstappen, which effectively lost Sebastian Vettel the World Drivers' title, because Hamilton won it later.
Let's use some of this energy. Increase the ERS deployment.
Mexico, I do believe. It was an 8th place finish. It's looking like he'll win the championship again this season, because that Mercedes just seems to be popping up out of nowhere to give the wall another big kiss. Yeah, that Mercedes just seems to be popping up out of nowhere. I think Bottas won the first race, then Hamilton's won the next two. It's going to be interesting at Azerbaijan next week. Or actually, probably this week when... last week, sorry. When this video gets released. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Because I don't think I know what's going to happen. Oh, so we're giving the wall another contact. I think we need to calm it down now.
The gap to the car behind is 7.6 seconds.
Because we're starting to make a few little pesky errors. Ah, the gap to Ocon is 15 seconds. Good lord! Oh, to give the wall again. God Almighty! This car is starting to become a real inclusive pain in the arse, and that's not what we wanted. We wanted this car to be utterly perfect, utterly smooth, utterly everything, and it doesn't seem to be utterly anything at the moment. All it seems to be is wanting to do its own thing. As we got 7.8 seconds to Alonso. So we've been pulling away at about 0.8 a lap, almost 15 seconds to Ocon. We've been pulled away by him from about 1.5 seconds a lap. That is quick by anyone's standards in these conditions. I think if Ricciardo was up here, Ricciardo would have given us a fight, but the Renault and the Force India behind us, we got absolutely nothing off them. As we go across the line, lap number 11. 5 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen. 5 laps to go, and everyone's saying thank God for that. You're not the only ones that think that, I must say. Because, honestly, Singapore Grand Prix, they're not my favourite. Don't get me wrong, it's a lovely race when they race it at night. But when you got this rain condition, that is when it's the extreme pain in the rear end. and it's a pain in the rear end for the worse. But you can't really do many changes to a street circuit. Now, we did hear on the radio that there may be some issues with Magnussen. Here he is having a fight with his teammate down Raffles Boulevard. My God, we're going to get a pass in the rain. This is another thing, the AI is so... Oh, I think Grosjean locked it up a little bit. So you got Ericsson in close attendance. And Magnussen will retain P9 as we head out of the Anderson hairpin up the hill. There they are on the mini-map. They're just going through turn 9 now. We're at turn 15. I can hear, if you hear laughing in the background, one of my brother, who's usually on the Xbox One around about now, is absolutely wetting himself for some reason. I'll have to do some investigation and find out what he's wetting himself over, because I think I want to be a part of that as we come through turn 21, turn 22. Oh, so precise and so smooth. Isn't that not just precise and smooth driving? Give it the curves, everything in turn 23 as we head across the line. 4 laps to go in the Singapore Grand Prix Marathon. Thanks to this wet weather as we fling it into turn 1, fling into turn 2 and now into turn 3. Keep it neat as always. Look at, you don't see any opposite lock going on this car. It is just smooth sailing all the way. And that's what I pride myself on. I pride myself on the smooth and perfect driving, because that's what we're all about as we come through turn number 7. We go back to Magnussen and Grosjean. Oh, Magnussen, yeah, here's Magnussen with his problem now. I think he's going to let Grosjean go. Ericsson in close attendance. That's a pass for P9. Oh, he's not going to give it up without a fight, though, is the Dane. But I think the experienced Frenchman, to give it a slide out of turn 3, will retain. Will take P9 back. But he had a bit of a train going there. We go back to Kevin Magnussen going down the Raffles Boulevard. And here comes Marcus Ericsson. Yeah, he's got some kind of engine-related issue, maybe wing issue or something. Because that was a pretty easy pass there by the Sauber driver for P10. And that's going to be Magnussen sweeping out the points there as we come through turn 15 down to turn 16 and 17. See, turn 16 is an underrated corner because you're having to brake in 16 for turn 17. It's going to be a bit like the next race in Sochi. When you're going down the back straight, you have to turn into a corner to brake for a heavy braking zone. It's where Carlos Sainz had an absolute monster crash a couple of years ago now in his Toro Rosso, I believe it was. He didn't race at that race, which is a shame. But you know, these things happen from time to time. Give it a bit of a power slide through turn 1. Now
heavy rain to stay a while. Doesn't look like it's moving anytime soon.
Kink. There's Alonso still. Ocon's only just crossing the line now. He's nearly 20 seconds back. Have we really been that quick? Does it feel like we've been that quick? Does it feel like we've been that dumb? We set the fastest first sector of anybody. Might be time to capitalise on that. Speaking of capitalising, Magnussen's going backwards quickly. Here comes Lance Stroll for P11. We're looking at the wrong view there, Mr. Director. We should be looking... Oh! Well, there was a big-time crash in there. What happened? I think Stroll used a bit of elbow grease to get past there. I want to see that again on the replay. Yes, let's have a look at that one. As the advert for F1 World Grand Prix said, let's look at that again in this basement. Oh, that was a bit naughty. That was a bit naughty on the Canadians' part there. But that's P11 for Lance Stroll. Oh, so we got an itch. We got an itch where we don't need an itch. Speaking of itches where they don't need an itch, I think Magnussen's going to be passed by Brendan Hartley here. You can definitely tell he's got some kind of engine issue because that Williams is gone. And that Toro Rosso should be past him with no issue. Because that's basically my car from last year. And it is rapid. As he there he goes into P12, Brendan Hartley. That's rather unfortunate for the Dane there. I think he was having a stellar race. Haas could have picked up some decent points there, but never mind. They're going to come through turn 23. We're going to get 2 to go. Lap 14. I'm so going to be fucking glad. Oh, we set the fastest lap of the race. Wow. 54.6. That's going to be a wake-up call to everyone. That's saying, hello, I still had all this pace in me and you didn't even acknowledge it. Which is rather part of the course around these parts. But, yeah. Interesting to say the least. Ocon's just got, he's nearly 23 seconds back. I wonder if they've all just decided, nah, you're right. We've kicked it up a gear again. We've set the fastest first sector of anyone again. To go into turn 8. Keep it nice and smooth. And here comes Kevin Magnussen with Nico Hülkenberg for P13. He's got one of the Ferraris in close attendance. He gets Sebastian Vettel. And it is Sebastian Vettel, the 4-time champion of the world. Looks like Magnussen's going to retain P13. Oh, a bit of a slide through turn 2. That was nice from the Dane. Showing off a bit of a rally cross there as we come over the Anderson hairpin bridge into the Anderson hairpin. I think on the mini-map I saw we may be approaching some back markers. I hope that's not the case as we see Magnussen and Hülkenberg again fighting for this P13. Well, it looks like Hülkenberg's not going to give it up. Magnussen's not going to give it up without fighting. In fact, he retains that position again. That's very... Yes, you can see on the mini-map, you can just see at the very top now, going through turn 21. We're coming up to a 3-car train of back markers. This could be interesting. Then, they're woefully slow. Who's that? That must be Sorokin, Sainz and Raikkonen. Oh, big slide through turn 22. Back it down, Ian. As we go fast through turn 23, get a warning, set the fastest lap of the race.
Keep this up.
And we're now on the final lap as well. As we fling it through turn 3, I don't think we're going to be setting any more fast laps. Alonso 12.8 seconds back. This has been a racing masterclass in utter dominance. It's Ocon 25 seconds back and they're 24.1. But it'll be 25 by the end of this race, I will assure you. As we come through turn 7, we're half a second down. That's fine, we can back it down now. We've got plenty in the car. See if we can catch these scrubs and lap them. As we go back to Kevin Magnussen and Nico Hülkenberg fighting for this P13. Will Hülkenberg finally get the job done? The answer to that question is no, he won't. Oh, yes, he will. He'll try around the outside of turn 3. Fair play. Lovely view from the shark fin on that Haas. And it looks like finally Hülkenberg has got his man. And down Raffles Boulevard, he'll go in P13. Will Vettel smell the blood in the water on the Ferrari B team, essentially? He'll have a think about it, but he's not in any position to challenge. Yes, he thought about it. He still is. But no, he'll stay back, and that's P14 still. But we're coming through. We're coming up to the back markers now, but I don't think we're going to catch them in time. The fireworks are starting to go off around Marina Bay. We're coming out of turn 22 for the last time. Gonna come through turn 23. It's gonna be victory in the rain in Singapore. Get in there! Yes, mates!
Fantastic. You've won the Grand Prix.
So, another fantastic victory for Red Bull today. So, Ant, how exactly did they set themselves apart from the pack today?
Well, I'd say it's just raw pace, plain and simple. I mean, we could sit here and talk about strategy all day, the overtaking, looking after the tyres, but at the end of it all, if you want to win, you need a package that's got the speed over everyone else, and that's exactly what they had today.
Here come our winning drivers then, out onto the podium at the end of a thrilling Grand Prix. The drama and excitement are over, and it's time to let it all sink in. Congratulations to our top 3 today. And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. Poole increases their championship lead. And now I'd like to ask you, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
Well, after a drive like that, it's got to be Nico Hülkenberg, hasn't it? Very clean, very smooth. He can be really pleased with that one.
And now let's take a look at the constructors' standings. We saw a dip in form from the championship leaders today. Their lead has taken a significant blow. There was also a strong showing from the Mercedes team today as they make their way up the standings. It was great having you with us for this weekend. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Until next time though, goodbye.
That's what we're talking about, folks. That is what we're talking about. Utter dominance in the rain at Singapore. That is why we're so good in the wet. We are just so good. It's unbelievable. We win the Singapore Grand Prix from Fernando Alonso, Esteban Ocon, Sergio Perez in 4th, Pierre Gasly 5th. Valtteri Bottas finished. Sorry, Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas. Charles Leclerc, Romain Grosjean, and Marcus Ericsson round out your top 10. I have and there are 2 retirements: Stoffel Van Dorn and Daniel Ricciardo. Unbelievable. But that's going to do it for this race. It's been a marathon. And you know the worst thing after this? We've now got to go see that bitch Claire. And she's going to say, "Good day today," or something like that.